This week, we announce our group candidacy for president, and we discuss selling the show to Canada to pay off our debts. That is, so long as Keith starts bogarting that box of Cheez-Its, or so help me God, I'm burning down the whole studio. All that and more on this week's episode of...
I'm in! No, vote for me! Vote for me! Robot lady, sound the alarm!
Warning. The following podcast is another wasted hour. Warning. The following podcast is another wasted hour.
Don't waste my motherfucking time! I'm officially throwing my hat in the ring. I want to be president of something. I don't know what...
sounds like a terrible idea.
Well, I feel like it's a little far out, right? It's still a couple more years out, but I feel like there's a lot of people wanting to be president. I don't know about what yet, because it can't be the U.S. That's way far out. So I assume it's probably like an HOA or something that Bernie Sanders is joining. I don't know. But I'm going to find out more. I'm going to put together an exploratory committee, and we're going to figure out if I want to be part of the HOA. I think it sounds
I don't think we
important.
even let you be president of your own ARC server.
Yeah, well, they also, I can't even be president of the show. and I run this show. I don't know how to get promoted. It's very sad. If I became president, they would impeach me from this show, and they would replace me with two ignorant, uninformed, ill-advised, self-deprecating morons ranting about opinions they have no right to have, which are probably wrong and absolutely do not matter. Our goal here at Another Wasted Hour is to convince you that where we hail from, just outside Washington, D.C., is not just a city of politics and scandals. It's one brimming with art, music, and culture. As impossible as that may seem. So listeners, now that you know why you're here, you might want to step to the side, because right now I can tell they're charging. We've got Avi and Justin from Albino Rhino. Woo! So Avi, say hi.
Woo woo.
There's you're a train. You've turned into a train.
I only speak in woos. I'm just telling you this for the future.
Oh, that's good. Okay. And Justin, say hello to everyone.
Hello.
He is not a train. He is a porn star.
I'm not a woo girl.
He's like,
or a woo boy.
He's like, I'm a train. You're like, yeah, you are.
Yes.
Say it again.
Engine number 9 coming down my line.
Welcome to the show. So Albino Rhino is a band, right?
Yes,
I
yes.
assume it's not just you two playing everything, is it?
Yeah, it's not like an elastic band. It's more like a music project.
Yeah, okay.
That's how I like to think about
Okay,
it.
this makes a lot more sense now.
Yeah, okay, not a rubber band.
I mean, we like to think our elasticity stretches beyond just music, though,
That's very deep. We're not going to go into that on this show because that's not how it works. So you guys are playing a big show coming up Friday, March 1st at Roofers Union in Adams Morgan, which is down in Washington, D.C. for those people who are outside the Beltway and think that Washington, D.C. is just a single place. There are tiny other places that we discussed last episode, I think. Yeah, we get annoyed by that because all the people in DC are like, oh yeah, it's just the Shaw, and we're like, what? Is it a museum or is it not a museum? That's all we know.
And every 3 blocks is something totally different.
Yeah.
So it's like Rhode Island Avenue is totally different than Noma, which is totally different from Judiciary Square and Columbia Heights, and all these places are so different.
No, yeah, to me, if I were to walk from the Verizon Center and just head east, I would go through 3 different neighborhoods at least, right?
At least, yeah.
But what I would think is just make sure you don't get mugged. That's the only thing I would go east. Yeah. I wouldn't be thinking and now I'm in, Federal Triangle, and now I'm in no, I'd just be is that guy following me?
And in a car going from Capital One Arena or the MCI Center to Wonderland Ballroom is oh, this took in a car it takes half an hour, but it's it's 3 miles or something.
Yeah.
It's 5 miles, but they're totally different environments.
That's true. Yeah, there's a lot that goes into DC. How would you describe your music? I heard rumor, so I was gonna say kind of jammy, a little jazzy, but then I heard that I might get attacked in a negative way if I said jazzy. Right?
Yeah.
Justin seems to be very strongly worded about this. I heard warning. Is it jazzy, Justin?
We're playing jazz standards every now and then, so it would be pretty pretentious of us to not say we don't do some jazz.
I didn't
It's
think
like a jazz-infused funk rock,
Yeah.
I think is a fair way to describe it.
I think that's
we
fair.
cover Miles Davis, but we don't really like to be called jazz.
Right. I didn't think you were being pretentious. I just thought you were very violent and just liked to find excuses to attack people.
We try to make it accessible jazz.
So we have a track from you. You just put out an EP last year, right?
Yeah, in
And-
October.
In October, and that's called Out of the Box. It's an EP. One of the tracks you have here at the show today called Milestones.
Yeah.
If you're incredibly interested, you can fast forward to the 1 hour mark of this show and listen to it.
Woo.
All of it. We won't even talk over it. And then you can come back and join us for all the hilarity that is the show. If you'd like to wait for it, we will be playing a little clip of it later in the show, so you can join us for that. If you want to hear more music from Albino Rhino, go check out their Facebook page, facebook.com/albinorhino.us. I didn't even know you could put dots in the part after Facebook. So
We're friends with Mark.
You're real close. He likes albino rhinos. He's collected them all. So yeah, how do you guys feel about? There's suddenly in the last just week or two, a bunch of people now are saying, "Oh yeah, I'm running for president." Have you noticed this?
Well, I appreciate your subtle support in my candidacy for president
You're
of the
also
United
running?
States. Yes.
Good. We should all run. We should run as a group president. The five of us together could probably get it close.
Another wasted 2020.
Yeah, exactly. Another
We're-
wasted 4 years.
I mean, the triumvirate works so well for Rome. I'm pretty sure what was it to be a five-man president would be pretty good for us, right?
Right? I feel like we just need one extra person. We've got 4. This isn't hard. Mistress of Destruction. She could probably do it. We will have to tone her down a little because she'll obviously just want to destroy everything. But here's my slogan I'm going with. Okay, here it is. It's big stickers that say, is it worse? That's what I'm going with. Yeah. Because people have to be like, he's got a point, I guess.
So my question for you is, are you saying that you could make it worse? Like, is it worse? Are you saying like, oh no, this will be like a retreat back to when it wasn't worse?
That's what I like people to think about.
Like,
see how it's making you think, right? That's what a good slogan does.
like, is it worse? It could be worse. I'm on board. I'm on board, Keith. Let's make it
That's
worse.
how I split. Right now, we have a very divided country, right? I get the people who are like, I'd really like it to be better. And the other people are like, I kind of want to watch it burn. And I'm like, I'm your candidate because is it worse? I think I've got a shot here. I feel real good. I'm not sure what my platform's going to be. I need to figure out what my platform is going to. What would we put on a platform?
WURST. Worst.
Worse. Like what?
Strong sausage ties.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what I would like go for. Like we know things like there's a wall on the southern border. There's universal health care. Those things people are already tackling. Those things we need to find new things that really separate us from the pack. Right. So I'm trying to figure out what those things could be.
Why does every micro USB cable have to fail? Why does every headphone jack have to fail? Why can't we have an auxiliary cable
Right.
that lasts?
I think we've already made progress because my statement would have been earlier, like we need USB cables that you can put in either direction. But we've solved that now with the USB-C, so I feel really good about that. We just need to make everything go to that now.
Austin, Justin's now my least favorite person because as soon as he said that, the left ear cup in my headphones just died. You
Vote
son
for
of a bitch.
Justin. He's gonna solve that. He's solving it.
Yes.
You need him in office right now.
My scientists will be working on the right things.
Yes. Gun control, that's a good one. We've had some really good gun control concepts on here, right?
Well, I'm trying to remember how we got ourselves in trouble with that
you don't
one.
remember my gun control ones?
I
Guys,
don't remember.
I would like to point out my
Must
gun
have blocked
control.
it from my memory.
Here's what we do, okay? None of these mamby-pamby kind of like background check things or like we're gonna ban machine guns or anything like that, right? No, all of that totally legal. Anyone can have them. We ban barrels that are straight.
I remember
then
that
you
now.
gotta, because you gotta work hard to get somebody with that. If you can't aim down the barrel, like you gotta practice, and that means you really meant it. Like nobody's just gonna get mad, pick up a gun that doesn't shoot straight, and start trying to like kill people because they know it's not gonna work.
And you know what? You're gonna have to practice and make a mistake and know what the consequences are. It's like juggling. You know, you can't be juggling machetes without making a mistake or two, and then you know what you're getting yourself into.
Second law for gun control. We still have all the legal guns, okay? But
Crooked as they are.
Yeah, every single one of them has to be pink. Right? Because it's hard to be toxic masculinity guy and have a pink gun.
Oh my god!
Right? Because you're gonna get teased as you're trying to shoot other people.
It's like, but guys, I want to be violent. Like, leave me alone.
I'm intimidating. No, you're super intimidating. And then what we do is we also make every gun from now on in the shape of an actual penis, just so we all know what's really going on.
I think you've accidentally made the next porn I find on the Epics channel.
Oh wow!
All right, so we're all gonna go in as candidates. It's weird that you'd announce that you want a new job 2 years from when it's available. Like I feel like going over to Google and be like, I would like to be one of your engineers 2 years from now. If anything opens up, you let me know, okay? I'm announcing my candidacy for your presidential job of Google.
And I'm gonna keep hounding you for the next 2 years intensely.
It wouldn't
until
work
you give me this job
for anything else, right? Nothing else. All right, so we'll see how that goes. We're gonna get our entire campaign squad together. We'll talk to the Russians, see if they can help us out some, and we have a shot at this. I feel like. All right, we got a plan moving forward, Adam. We're gonna be another wasted hour, President of the United States.
Did the last guy use Russians? I thought we had to use like the Ottomans or something.
They're not around anymore.
We've got Russians on staff.
Yes. All right. So moving on, now that we know both of you are musicians playing funky jam music, we also know that you are both putting your hat in the ring for president. We're going to have you try a brand new role, one you may not have done before. This is called the Weather Report. We're going to make you the editor-in-chief of your own brand new publication. Okay? We're going to toss you some news that we found around the internet. You're going to let us know whether or not that news makes the cut and makes it into your publication. Do remember that at the end of this, we're going to need a name so that people can buy it, obviously. So, without further ado, Adam, what is your first story?
Detroit family wants answers after mother's casket found in alley with dog skull, no body.
What?
So
You
just-
heard him. Don't pretend like you're not listening.
The question is that news?
Yeah, well, do you have questions? Yeah, feel free to ask.
So it's also important to note that she was buried 19 years ago.
Oh,
That makes it better.
The thing is, Detroit has so many problems that if someone was like, is this news? I'd be like, no, we need to talk about like actual Detroit and get
that's
into
like a fun fact at that point.
well, I don't know about fun.
Fun?
It's a fact. It's a fact, though.
Justin has a different definition of fun. Guys, I brought a fifth of liquor. We're going to dig up an old lady and replace her body with a dog skull and put it in an alley. And they're like, woo!
So they are still trying to figure out to go on. All they know is that they were renovating a house, and while they're doing so, they just found this casket just out in the alley out back. In a search, quote, a search of public records revealed the man who lived there died in August 2017 and had a license in mortuary science.
Oh. This gets more and more interesting.
I think he's seen a few too many episodes of the Frankenstein Chronicles or something.
You think he tried to bring his wife back to life?
No, it wasn't his wife. It's just some dude.
Oh, just some dude stole a body and tried to give it life again by stuffing a dog into it.
Pretty much is the best I got
mean,
from
it
this.
could be a big misunderstanding, you know.
It could be.
That's true.
I'd be so curious to be like, no. What had happened was like, oh, okay, sure, yeah, go ahead. But yeah, it could be some misunderstanding.
Hold
Go
on.
on.
I need some popcorn. I gotta hear this.
All right, so is it news?
Sorry.
No. Oh.
Sorry.
Oh my goodness. All right.
It's unfortunate, but it's not news.
No, not news. Okay, then next item up for bid. Here we have Honda is recalling pickups for catching fire when washed. So here's the thing. I would like to propose an alternate headline for this. Just give me a second. Honda Ridgeline becomes the manliest truck in the history of the world. If you're a real man, you want a pickup truck. And if you want a pickup truck, you want it big, powerful, and dirty from off-roading everywhere you go. If someone tries to clean your off-roading monster, it should catch on fucking fire like a goddamn diesel demon. Now, that's what I call feeling the burn. Can't handle it? Then hokey pokey your lily ass away from this toxic masculinity machine and curtsy your way into a Prius.
I love it.
Yeah. Are you kidding me? This is the best anti-theft system I've ever heard of. To hell with LoJack and GPS. I can just track down the thief by following the smoke.
And once it rains, if it rains, they're in big trouble.
You're right. How great is that, though? You get your brand new truck home and you're like, this is my brand new truck. I fucking love it. I'm going to wash it. And then just woof. Like, ah!
Who washes their truck?
Right. They should have known. They should have
This is
known.
an Escalade, all right?
Yeah. Calm your ass down. Be proud of that mud. If it's
earned it.
Yeah, right. If it's not up to the door handles, you weren't trying. So is it news?
I feel like it's at least a commercial on the news.
Yeah.
Like, that was great.
It might be an entertainment column.
Yeah. All right, we made it in. Excellent. Adam, how about you?
Researchers find 14% of sausages mislabeled in Canada, down from last study.
Wait, what are they labeled?
So apparently there's been a lot of mislabeling and, quote, cross-species contamination of meat ingredients.
Oh, okay, that makes more sense because I was afraid that they were like, this is a Honda
Wait, where is
Ridgeline.
this?
Canada.
In Canada?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, say that again?
They
What
were
was that?
saying, where did it happen?
It's just a nationwide study in Canada.
In Canada,
took
okay.
place last year where they revealed that 20% of the packages were mislabeled. And now this year it's down to 14.
I feel like because it's Canada, the problem is that they make sausage, and then when they go to test it, they're like, fucking, how did caribou get into this too? Caribou's fucking everywhere. How is this happening? Did somebody touch a caribou? Like, where is this coming from?
I'm just wondering who thought that they needed to try to identify the species of meat in what is essentially a mystery meat tube.
Right? I like the people who are offended by this. Whoa, wait a minute. Was that pork? This didn't say pork. You're like, it didn't say anything. It's basically the Play-Doh Fun Factory of meat. Like, calm down. A little of the other meat's gonna get in there. Just eat it and shut up.
Maybe they're impressed by it. They're like, you know what 86% of this is? Are you kidding me? Like, way to go. Congratulations, Canada. Like,
Right. They're like,
Your science is way more advanced than ours.
yeah, that's mostly right. Good job.
I think all their Rubik's Cubes are probably solved up there.
That's right. This is how I know that if the world goes into like absolute chaos and there's some type of apocalypse, that the vegans won't last, right? Is because like meat eaters, you can just give them a plate of meat in like intestinal like casings, and they'll be like, this seems good. And they'll be like, oh, it's mislabeled. I'm like, that's fine. Do you have mustard? Right. A vegan would be like, whoa, wait a minute. How many vegetables are in this? Like, even if it was all not meat, they'd still be like, I need to see if there's gluten in this thing. So we need to talk. I do not like sesame seeds.
Oh my gosh.
Right? So if it becomes Walking Dead,
Yeah.
like meat eaters are just going to be like, I mean, now it's dead, right? we can probably eat it for now, right? It's safe, is it? I don't know. Just cook it well done. It'll be fine.
Yeah, I don't
a
know.
Zombie.
I don't know if everyone on all the living normal humans on that show should be vegetarian or carnivorous, where it's like, oh, we don't want to eat any meat because like we don't know what's become of that, or it's like, oh no, we're really gonna go in and like eat that.
Yeah, it's a difficult decision because I've never seen. I haven't watched all of the show. Are there like zombie squirrels or anything? Is there any
show we talking about?
The Walking
Dead or any zombie thing? Have you ever seen a zombie movie?
Resident Evil.
Yeah,
There are a few zombie films that feature zombie animals.
like zombie deer.
Yeah.
Wait, can you? I know it's not fair because I don't know, but can you elaborate? Like, I'm kind of fascinated. Is it
writing
like
a
28 days later where it's just like, oh my god, that deer is gonna attack the hell out of me, or like
No, so this is where my drunken days of college of watching horrible movies does me at least a little bit of good.
Okay.
high five.
Typically, more modern zombie films don't feature like zombie animals because it's more like a human virus and either rage or something like that.
Sure.
Older Romero style stuff, where it was, or the old Hollywood voodoo zombie, which is not at all voodoo, but Hollywood voodoo would sometimes feature those kinds of things. And every once in a while, you get like a B or C movie that'll have some dead deer punching through a window or something like that, but it's not very common.
I just like to imagine a staggering squirrel coming at you like, I'm gonna eat you. You know, like it's the least intimidating thing you could do. You're like, we're gonna have to get rid of that later.
In that Walking Dead sort of lurch.
Yeah, right.
Night of the Living Dead sort of lurch.
I'm a squirrel. You know, and you're like,
They'll still find a way to jump out in front of a car, though.
right, exactly. Just to meander out in front of a car. I don't know if you would. There's definitely no zombie vegetables. I know that for a fact in all of the movies.
I guarantee if you search Amazon Prime hard enough, you'll find some D-list movie that has zombie vegetables
Like
in it.
Night of the Living Rutabaga.
I mean, zombie Venus flytrap. Is that a thing? And then
Not terribly dangerous, I feel like.
no.
Just don't go over there. Okay.
As an omnivore, I'm greatly offended.
All right. So we said so we need to know, is it news, right? Did we already do that? Yeah, for sausages.
I do like that it brings down the percentage. It talks about that being
They're
improvement.
Yeah, that's good.
But I hate people that talk about and worry about food. As long as I'm not getting E. coli and then it's giving me nutrients, I don't need to be worrying about it. Neither do you.
I spend my day worrying about the safety of what we ingest. So I think that this is news.
How many people do you think are going to look back at this moment and be like, no, it's good that like they've gotten better at it. But when it was like 37% wrong, it was way tastier.
Oh,
Like,
That's the fun.
yeah, I missed
It had a much greater depth of flavor.
Yeah,
when it was
right?
Wrong.
It's like the Airheads mystery flavor of sausage.
what was the percent? It was
mean Taco
86%
Bell?
was meat.
No, so
Or
it was
just
originally
identifiable.
20% mislabeled. Now it's 14.
Oh, just mislabeled. Okay.
How much was the first one? 14 is now, and what was it?
It was originally 20.
20.
Oh,
So that's pretty great.
It actually could be like, oh, this is 80% meat and 20% filler, and really it's 100% meat.
Yeah.
So
that
we-
would be mislabeled.
I think this is more like if the sausage says it's like pork sausage, only to find out it's armadillo.
Or at least
I'm
Sort of
allergic
thing.
to armadillo. That's really frustrating.
Yeah, no, it's not good because they also have what's the thing where all your fingers drop off? Armadillos
Gangrene?
have that. No,
What?
no,
No
Too
way.
serious?
Leprosy?
leprosy. Don't they carry leprosy? I think armadillos carry
How
leprosy
do you know that?
because you need to be aware of. Why don't you know
don't-
this? What if you get leprosy?
I don't remember that.
I don't think I've ever seen
I
armadillo.
do not remember Sandshrew having a leprosy-based attack in Pokemon. so-
Yeah, well, he was one of the lucky ones. You're welcome. I might have saved your life now.
Wow.
All right,
you.
so next one up. Online petition calls for Montana to be sold to Canada to reduce national debt. Guys, this is a good idea. I really like this idea. No, hear me out. What do you think we could get for New Jersey? If we're just spitballing.
Ooh, that's not fair. I was born in New Jersey.
I was also born in New Jersey. That's
so
why
it's priceless. I mean, going to Canada would be great.
Yeah.
Free healthcare.
That's true. See? We should do that. I feel like some country could put a little bit of money into Alabama and flip it for a tidy profit. I feel like, right? Don't you think?
Ooh,
Yeah.
Maybe Mosul laws make
Canada?
it nice.
Yeah.
Canada though.
I don't know if it's Canada. Maybe we do it to Mexico. They've got a lot of workers
right.
down there.
If anyone could save it, it would be Canada.
Yeah, it might
or
be.
like Sweden.
I don't know. After Neil Young made those
He's not
songs.
going to be. They're
Yeah,
not.
I don't think Canadians want Alabama.
That's
I'm
true.
Just throwing that out there.
I'll be honest. I would be willing to make a deal for Florida if we keep the keys. Like, I think if it's the rest of it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, nah. Although I swear to God, if one more person from the West Coast laughs at us for having a snowstorm while their state is on fire, I will throw California in for free.
As long as it's an open border.
Yeah, I'm just saying. If one more person stands in front of the sun and goes, "Hey, how's the snow going?" and you just see the smoke going as well, and I'm like, "You got bigger things to worry about," because I will shovel snow and be fine. And I would much rather do that than stand on top of my roof with like a garden hose pretending to be a fire extinguisher.
They were criticizing us when we had that earthquake a few years back. And
Yeah.
they were like, Dave Navarro was like, we rock our babies to that. And I was like, why? Like, let us have our moment. We just had an earthquake.
Right.
Like,
Right. And as if like other places are looking at California and being like, whatever. Like Haiti's like, California, you got something to say?
yeah, right?
Like, yeah, it's a weird thing to like go, your catastrophic event is nothing. It's just killing people. So what do you think? Do you think maybe this could be part of our platform for presidency?
The reason.
The worst party.
Are there any others we can get rid of?
Ooh, if it's
North
here's
Dakota
a-
feels like it's not really needed.
we
got
can
a
keep one Dakota, yeah.
Yeah, we got a Dakota.
But I wouldn't give up both Carolinas. Let's just merge those two. Now we've got 48 states.
Brilliant. Look at that. It's a nice even number.
I don't know how historians feel about that, but
We've got a West Virginia and a Virginia. That seems like overkill.
Does Alaska do anything?
oil.
Yeah, it does a lot of oil and all of the reality TV shows on Discovery's channel.
All of the
And
being
Sarah
able to see
Palin.
Russia, from your backyard.
Yeah. So probably can't get rid of that one.
Although maybe that's how they got in. They were looking into Alaska
Yeah.
from their backyards.
I have a feeling that is that's also where we bury all of our like bodies from murders.
Oh, interesting.
Just all Alaska. There's nothing going on over there. I guess you can't. It's all ice. You're like, this is the worst. Yeah, I don't know. Are there any others? I feel like Oregon and Washington are pretty close.
I mean, Canada would be like, yeah, you guys are on the level.
Yeah,
For like Washington State, yeah.
I feel like as long as they can, maybe they can have Amazon. Like I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I'm still in love with Amazon and Starbucks. Those could be Canadian, right? Do you feel? What do you think?
We could do New England. and
Actually,
just,
where's
cut off
where's St. Louis?
Missouri?
Okay, that's useless.
Yeah, just we
It's the
make
gateway to the West, though.
What if we make just a donut country? We get rid of all the middly bits.
That way we're like neighbors all the time.
We
you know?
to hell with like reducing national debt. We could actually turn a profit. I feel like we could be all in the black if we do this right.
If we just sell the right states to the right people.
Like, hey, Mexico, instead of building a wall, how about you take Texas?
But we keep Austin.
Right. We'll just carve Austin out.
Yeah.
All right. So is it news?
I think there aren't going to be enough signatures to make it newsworthy. Like,
Maybe if we made it news, there would be.
yeah, if the four of us, if we could get someone else, the five of us to sign on board. But right now, I think it's just a drop in the ocean.
Yeah. All right. So not news. That's
Not
what I'm
news.
hearing. All right.
Alrighty, so now we're going to enter into our lightning round. So we're just going to throw a headline at you. If you have questions, we'll try to answer it, but we didn't do nearly as much work researching these, so
'Cause we're
good
losing.
luck. Argument over Cheez-Its leads man to allegedly light mom's house on fire.
Yes.
That seems fair.
Yeah, I don't see. I'm fascinated.
Cheez-Its, anything with Cheez-Its
Doesn't
gets
seem
my attention.
Doesn't seem like news. Seems totally reasonable.
Cheese it, Rhino.
All right, that's in. FDA warns against infusing young people's blood to fight aging.
Yes, I'm a huge FDA news junkie.
Yeah, I will say in the report that they didn't say anything about bathing in it.
You know what? I heart FDA.
All right, fair enough.
Burglar's getaway foiled when he hops in a police cruiser instead of the lift he ordered.
I love dumb criminals. They make me so happy.
Oh my! So I've driven through DC.
Yeah.
And had 3 different occasions where people get in my back seat at a light. Like, is this the Uber?
You should just be like, where are you heading? And then just start driving in circles. Right? Yeah, we're almost there.
So
it's just right around this corner.
So this headline is it's beautiful. It's the wake up of our generation.
If I was rich, right, where like it didn't matter if I got points on my license or anything, I would just speed off. Like they would get in and I would just hit the gas full and just start weaving through traffic and they're like, ah, I'm giving you 1 star. Like, joke's on you, I'm not even an Uber. It would be the best day of my life. I'd get arrested, I'd have my lawyers get me out of it and everything. I'd get some points on my license. Insurance would go up, but I'd be like, I'm rich, I don't care. I hope it happens again.
I'm surprised undercover cops haven't put the Lyft and Uber stickers on yet.
Ooh,
right.
Controversial.
I'm going to get one of those Uber stickers and put it on my car, but I'm just going to add an L to the front. Right? And then I'm going to look at them. I'm going to look them really seductively when they get in my car. Hello.
Be like, are you my Uber? Be like, no, look again.
Yes. Hello, welcome to Luber. And they're like, oh God! And then gas and like through the traffic. And then I just throw them a pillowcase and I go, put this on your head. And then
you have to make it a smooth exit though.
Right. And then what you do is you wait, you get the place that they're going first, right? You go, where are you heading again? And they're like, oh yeah, I'm going to, I don't know, Penn Quarter or something, right? And you go, okay. And then you start this, right? Put this over your head, right? And so they're like, no, and you stop at Penn Quarter and you go, we're here. And then they're like, I don't, what is happening?
Do I give you all the stars?
Give me all your stars. All right.
I have some ninja stars.
All right, it's on me. Right? Did we? Is that news? Did we get?
Yes.
I don't even know what we were talking about now. I got too excited about being a looper. It's pronounced Luber. So yes, news to whatever it was.
Yes.
Yeah. Lubier.
To both.
Yes. I'm making news as we speak. Dead U.S. mayor makes it through final round in election. Yeah.
Some trolls go too far.
Right. He came in second in the primary in Edmonton, Oklahoma, and will be on the final ballot in April.
Was this like in the past 2 months, or this was a while ago?
No, it happened again.
Didn't that happen with like a senator or something?
Yeah, it happened again.
So
This is what happens when we keep electing old white guys. They keep dying on us.
I feel like there's precedence for this to be news.
I don't mean to be offensive to Bernie Sanders, but Jesus Christ.
It's a question we all have to ask.
Right now, the front runners are like their age combined is like 157 years old.
Meanwhile, we've got 4 great candidates right here.
If you combine our ages, we're the same age as them. We could do the job. I'm just saying.
Certainly do a better job than right now.
All right. So is it news?
I think so.
Yeah. All right. It's news. So that's it, right?
I think so, yeah.
I think we may have tied. I didn't really pay attention.
Let's go with that, because that's better than the real answer, I think.
We're a little competitive. We didn't tell you about that ahead of time.
It's okay.
That's okay. It is. It's fine. So in studio, we have Avi and Justin from Albino Rhino. You guys, again, playing the Roofers Union Friday, March 1st, I assume, for all the roofers.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll be there.
Well, just the union.
Just the union.
Management won't be there.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. And that's in Adams Morgan in Washington D.C. That's a place that you're less likely to get mugged.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Compared to where?
Chesnia.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Absolutely.
I don't know.
No, Adams Morgan's pretty hip and a safe area.
Yeah, it's
like,
pretty
but
safe.
like, I don't going
To the White
to
House?
like or to like your living room. It's like, dear God, like I didn't expect to get mugged on the way to the kitchen or like whatever. But yeah, I would say compared to
Well, that's why they do it in the living room. Just they lull you into a false
Surprise.
sense of security in your own living room, and then pounce. And they're like, put this pillowcase over your head.
Wait, why are we talking about Amway all of a sudden?
Yes, that's what it is. That's what we should get on our car. It's just a sticker for Amway, and when people get in, be like, I have a great opportunity for you. Oh, I'm getting out. No, you are not. You're going to join my downstream.
I mean, this is the company that pioneered locking people in a room until the presentation is done.
Right.
So
Exactly.
captive
seems like
audience.
high-speed cars is like the next place to go.
And so we also you also made an EP in October called Out of the Box.
Yeah.
And the track that we have today is Milestones, and that's actually a cover, right?
Yeah. The whole EP is covers.
All covers, but it's a little different than usual because it's not what you'd expect to have heard on the radio 40 years ago or anything like that. It's jazz standards, right? Or would you call them standards? That's the first question I'd say.
Technically, yes.
Yeah.
We like to arrange them in more of a modern fusion style.
Yeah.
So,
Like, is it a B-side or is it a standard? Like in terms of jazz? Because isn't that what that is? It's like a jazz standard or something.
it
That's
always depends who you're talking to.
like often redone kinds of stuff, right? Am I off on that?
I'm sure there's a purist that would disagree here.
Oh,
and I'm
okay,
sure
okay.
there'd be, someone else that would, what is a standard?
I feel
What
like
is it?
the originals, the originals like are standards, even though straight ahead purists may be like, I don't know about that.
But I don't know many people going out playing monk tunes.
I
Also
always,
true.
I always thought as a jazz standard being like a part of the mainstream, right? Like something that is a standard jazz tune that you hear. But is that not the case? Is that not how it's referred
We'll have to
to?
do a spin-off podcast of what are standards.
Yeah, right? Okay. Like pop standards would be like Wonderwall, right? Like that would be
but
a pop standard,
Yes.
right? So you guys picked up a bunch of jazz standards. You've kind of reworked them, add a little bit of kind of like a rock jam kind of thing to it, or funk jam kind
At
of
least
thing
feel,
to it.
yeah.
And then reworked them and recorded them. Where did you record the album?
So we recorded this in Chantilly, Virginia, in a storage unit, which was being rented out by our friend Vlad. And I realized at our EP show that I actually have no idea what his name is or what his last name is.
This is
but
how
he goes by
presidential
Vlad.
races start.
He plays guitar in the band Shamans of Sound, and we love them, and they're great. They just played at Jam in Java, and we love
Cool.
them. And so we recorded it there, honestly, because the opportunity was available. He had this rehearsal space all set up. He just had to hit record.
Okay.
We showed up. We played each tune 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, we literally practiced these tunes 2 weeks beforehand.
Wow.
So that's why we're like, oh, let's just do the standards we kind of love and mess around with, and then
Yeah.
we'll do a more original album in the future.
Uh-huh.
And then we liked it, and we kept working at it and mastering it pretty well, and it turned out to be a pretty kick-ass project.
Now, is that still the plan? Do you still plan on going back and doing like an original album as well?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
This is like a little interlude
Yeah. Okay.
album for us.
So why did you pick Milestones?
So the first time that we played Milestones was actually on, I think it was the anniversary of Miles Davis passing away at Wonderland Ballroom. And
They're just touching each other. Those for people who are not watching what's happening right now.
and we needed like
I
something.
think he just knighted him.
Yeah.
Wanted to do a Miles Davis song that basically wasn't So What. And
That seems fair.
I was like, oh, let's do Milestones. And Jack Philippoum, who plays guitar in the record, was like, yeah, but what if we made it funky? And that's why
Cool.
it sounds a little hip. Yeah.
So if you want to listen to the entire track, fast forward to the 1 hour mark. But I'd love to play a little sample from this track.
Sure, absolutely.
So this is from the EP Out of the Box. This is Albino Rhino's version of Milestones. All right, Justin. So you walked in today with a great big box. I called it your magician's box. I was expecting you to like start doing magic, and you're like, "This is where the magic happens." That's what Avi said. But we found out later it's actually an accordion. So I'm going to assume that you're the keyboardist.
Yes.
Is that right? Avi, what do you do?
I play bass on that song, and I get to sing on the last track on this EP.
Okay, so some vocals to look forward to on other tracks. I don't think this one had any vocals, does it?
That's correct. Just Mercy, Mercy, Mercy.
Yeah. All right. So, yeah, again, if you want to listen to the entire track, fast forward to the 1 hour mark of this show, and you can listen to it in its entirety. Since we've gotten through that, we're going to put you through a little bit of our own torture now. So you invented maybe a new take on things, these kind of funk covers of jazz standards. We invented a game show called Please God, Just Get One Right.
This should be the next one y'all cover.
Yeah. Speaking of funky versions of jazz standards, Adam made that theme song.
That was super hit, man. I like the chord extensions.
All right, so our last guest, Tristan Welch, he came in and had to do this particular exercise, and he had to answer questions. I believe it was about Kool-Aid flavors. Is that right?
Mm-hmm. Kool-Aid flavors.
Yeah, he didn't do well, but what he did do is give us a new category for you to have to deal with. Are you ready for your category?
Yeah, I also want to say I'm super impressed by his ability to find the motivation to do that himself, because I feel like it's easier when there are people and it's like, oh, I have to go to rehearsal, but people who do it all by themselves, I'm super impressed by.
Yeah, he's a single artist, and he's going to be up at he's got a new album called 40 Hours. It's being released on Friday, February 22nd, which will be after this happens. He will have played his CD release at Mobius Records in Fairfax on Saturday, February 22nd. If you want to find out more about him, you can go to facebook.com/Tristan Welch VA. So you guys are US,
Yes.
he's VA. He's going for smaller. He's more focused.
Yeah.
We're more American.
He's just one person.
Yeah, what can he do? Honestly, it's not like he can run for president. Not without 4 friends. So anyhow, likewise, since it is not yet February 23rd, if you do hate this category, you can go to his show and tell him in Fairfax, Virginia. Are you ready?
Yeah, can you repeat the category?
I haven't started it. Yeah, the category
I didn't mean
is
to ruin it.
the service industry.
Mm.
How do you feel?
Serviced.
Yeah, do you feel? Well, that's after the show, but do you feel confident? Do you feel like you got a shot at this?
Absolutely.
Wow, I did work in pizzerias for a long time.
There you go.
So I know something about service.
All right, Adam, start us off.
A nation's GDP is divided into 3 sectors: agriculture, industry, and service. The U.S. and the EU topped the service industry outputs for 2016 with $14.8 billion and $12 billion respectively. What nation comes in third with a paltry $5.7 billion in service industry output in 2016?
Can you repeat the first two? It was the United States and
EU.
The
and
EU.
Okay.
Yeah.
EU?
Yeah.
That nation?
Well, it's
European Union.
yeah. The European Union is considered a marketplace. So, what is the next largest marketplace?
For service.
I feel like given just population, it's got to be somewhere in Asia, either India or China, maybe
I don't know.
Japan, because
They're,
they
like,
love
really
America.
big on like agriculture and.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there are so many people.
A lot of people go to Tahiti. I'm just saying.
Hmm.
What defines
Tourism.
service industries? Like what are we talking about?
I'm thinking
here?
just fast food.
Is that part of agriculture,
Hotels,
Yeah, hotels,
things
I
like
think.
that.
Yeah, just about where you are giving service to somebody. So like waiters and waitresses, those types of things. Yeah.
I think like UAE or like Singapore or Australia.
You can't just
Well,
name every country until like we go, you got it.
I've heard of people going to Thailand to have a good time.
I'm discussing with my bandmate. We're coming up with the
I don't
educated
know.
decision.
Could be Australia.
We're trading solos.
All right, we need an answer.
What about China?
You want to go China?
No. It's too
Only
many
if you
rice
say it like Trump.
There's too much rice patties out there. I don't know. Is that racist?
It might be kind of racist. Although they might also have a lot of rice patties. So I don't know if that makes it racist at that point if it's true.
Ari, I'm going to let you pick one of those.
We both said China. So,
I don't think it's China.
but we both said it.
No, it can't be.
You're right. It can't be.
Can't be. They don't have that much tourism.
It's true. Why would you? Yeah. No disrespect to China, but if you
They don't just have to service
Maybe
tourists. They
Japan.
can also
I
service
think I don't
folks.
think Japan is a bad guess.
You make the final decision.
It's difficult. It's really hard.
The thing is, he said Tahiti.
That
I
was so with
just
me.
tahini.
Yeah, but Keith lies.
Yeah.
You know what? Let's just lean into it.
Which one?
Can we say Tahiti?
No.
Fine. Let's say Japan then.
That's a really stupid answer. No, I'm kidding. You can say that.
I mean,
All right.
This is really good radio. Listen to people think in real time.
Justin claimed the service industry experience and expertise, so I'm going to let him answer this.
Wait, so we talked about Japan, Australia.
We did not talk about Australia.
Yes, we did. I just you.
the
You were part of this
longest
conversation.
question in the history of Please
what was
God
the
Get
other
One
one?
Right.
Got to pick something here.
Japan.
We'll go with
Japan?
Japan.
Yeah.
No, it's Tahiti.
No,
I'm just kidding.
Oh my gosh.
No, oddly enough, the answer we were looking for was actually China.
China. Yeah. We had good poker
You're
faces.
so close.
You know, there's been a lot of debate throughout the course of history as to, which one is which.
Which one is I think people know which one is which.
Oh, no. Sorry. I mean, in terms
They
of
don't
like.
all look alike. Jesus
I mean, in
Christ.
terms of like World War II invasions and various Chinese
God,
invasions.
it's just getting worse.
I'm just going historical.
Avi, not only did you get the wrong answer, but you're being racist.
Yeah.
Next question, please.
You should have just gone Tahiti.
That's where I'm going. I'm going to Tahiti.
What you got, Keith?
All right. Contrary to popular belief, tipping did not come about due to low server wages. What event of the early 1900s affected hotels and restaurants greatly, which resulted in the proprietors welcoming tips as a way of supplementing wages?
Oh, this is interesting, but I have no idea. It's a good question.
Mm-hmm.
Does it have to do with prostitution?
Wow.
I mean, what doesn't?
My
right?
question
Right?
is so tame in comparison. You said what event led to that? Or what?
Yes, correct. What event in the early 1900s affected
In the
hotels
early
and restaurants so greatly, which resulted in the proprietors welcoming tips as a way to supplement wages?
I believe the answer is the stock market crash and or the Great Depression. Well, you said the early 20th or 19th century?
1900s, early
Okay.
1900s.
It's either that or like World War I.
Which are you going with?
I think it's the Great Depression.
Oh, it's a good guess. But so contrary to popular belief, it didn't come around due to low server wages, which is what I would think of when it was like the Great Depression. It was actually prohibition.
Really?
Prohibition is what brought it around. Yeah. Yeah,
Because
because
all
they
of a sudden
weren't
you
making
couldn't
as much.
sell beer and liquor.
Yeah, they couldn't sell beer and liquid, so they weren't making as much money.
we do encourage people to tip their bartenders.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't realize we were citing that rich lineage.
Prostitution was a better answer. It was closer.
It's always a better answer,
It had a lot more of the same letters.
right?
I wonder, I don't know, is that like offensive? Is that,
What?
yeah, I don't know what like appropriate prostitution etiquette is, where it's just like, what,
Tipping?
you like tipped on that? What do you think I am? Like some cheap whore?
Yeah,
like-
right. Oh, yeah.
But I mean, it's, yeah.
I think it
don't know.
depends. It's rude. It depends if it's rude or not to leave a tip if you have leprosy. Then it falls
All right,
off.
moving along. Let's run out of time. Half of all adults have, at some point, worked in a restaurant, and 1/3 of Americans' first job was in a restaurant. Currently, an estimated 14.7 million Americans are employed in the restaurant industry. What percentage of America's workforce do those 14.7 million people represent?
This is simple math. If you know how many people are in America.
That's that was a word problem.
Yeah. And without the text.
Dun dun dun.
So
14.7 million Americans.
out of how many? Or
What's
out of 300 million?
Currently, an estimated 1.47 million Americans are employed in the restaurant industry. What percentage does that represent?
He just said it was
1.74 over.
What did I say? No,
14.7.
14.7.
What was it?
14.7 over.
What preceded those numbers? You said something about a third.
Half.
So half of all adults have worked in a restaurant, and 1/3 their first job was in a restaurant.
But
Currently, we have 14.7 million people working in it. What percentage of the workforce is that 14.7 million?
What percentage of America's workforce is 14.7 million people?
What's the population?
I will warn you that we're running low on time.
Let's
so-
say it's like 350 million.
Yeah, you answer this. Running out of
not
time,
all of them
Avi.
are workforce though.
I'll be running out
Yeah,
of time.
I'm going to say
babies.
it's 13%.
Ooh, very close. 10%.
Yeah, that's not bad. Not a bad guess at all. Nicely
I
done.
consider that right in my eyes, despite what the rules are here.
Good enough for albino rhino.
Yeah. The service industry is a pop rock band which is known for their songs about the drudgery of blue collar work.
Mm-hmm.
From what Texas town does the service industry hail?
I'm like, the thing. So either the answer is like service, Texas, or I feel like we should give a shout out to
Texaco.
Austin.
Texaco.
Oh, Texaco, Texas. Is that our answer?
Waco.
Wait, I'm sorry. What was the question?
Where does service industry come from?
Yeah, what Texas town does the service industry does the band the service industry hail from?
Oh, I don't even know what that band is.
I'm gonna say Austin.
Austin. That's
You're
it.
right. That's it.
Yeah.
Nicely done. Austin, Texas. That was an easy one, I feel like, because of music in Texas.
Where's their
Exactly.
hit music in Texas?
If you're going to guess. All right, Adam.
Tax season has started. In any month where your tips are above a threshold, tips are considered taxable wages. What is that dollar amount threshold?
Is it 10K? Is it 10K, Justin?
Wait.
Any month where your tips are above this threshold, they're taxable.
I want to say it's $200.
Any given month.
So Justin's like a real musician who goes out and plays shows, so he has to worry about
Nice.
things like this.
Okay. What do you got for us, Justin? Let's do
I'm
it.
gonna guess $200. $200 hairs.
Doll hairs.
Justin,
Nope.
does this mean that you're reporting over $200 on your tax forms for each month that you play?
Whoa. Whoa.
Yes.
You're getting crazy.
Yes,
now.
he
I'm
is.
just saying,
Getting
you're like,
crazy.
this is the law, and it's like presumably you're more or less in line with that.
Yes, he is.
Yes.
Of
Thank you.
course he is. You're off
Unfortunately,
by a magnitude. An order of
yeah,
magnitude.
unfortunately, the real answer is $20.
Yeah.
Really?
Which he is also doing.
Well, I can't,
Avi. For God's sakes.
I can't believe all your penny counting and arithmetic expertise has paid off in counting each penny that you get tipped on,
Yeah.
separately from the checks that you get.
Avi, quick question. Have you ever driven a bus before? Or
I've been on a bus, but I've never driven one.
Or is it just or do you just throw people under them?
I have no remorse.
All right. Last but not least, if you have been listening to the show for some time, you would have heard Adam report several times about robots gaining popularity in what service industry?
Prostitution. Okay, I'm sorry.
Tahiti.
Robots. Where have we seen robots?
Actually, I wouldn't be surprised if the answer was the sex industry. No disrespect,
Are we talking
Adam.
about like physical robots or like computer intelligence robots?
So a robot is something that actually like has a physical form, right? It can put a car together. It can, now it may not look human. It's not necessarily an android, right? It could just be like a robot arm or something.
But it's not
that.
like your self-checkout.
Right. It's not just a screen. It would have to be a mechanical, something.
Would you consider that
moves.
Jeopardy god a robot?
No.
Okay.
No. The Deep Blue or whatever it is. Yeah. Nope. That's not a robot.
Okay. Now I know.
No.
So was it which industry?
Yeah.
Yes.
Which service industry's got?
I mean, if the sex industry could sway Betamax versus VHS, I'm gonna say that they're working in robots.
You know what? Netflix has been talking about that.
Oh.
So what are you doing? We're running out
Can
of
we
time.
say sex industry?
I don't know. Are we gonna get judged if people are like, "Oh man, I'm bottom around with just a bunch of sex acts"? All I was like, talk about is prostitution and sex.
No, I'm just. We're aware of the history of media.
We're gonna say like ice cream vending. And you're gonna be like, man, we look like perverts.
Wow.
And you're like, ah, shit. All right, what is it?
Insta band name change in that scenario. Yeah, I think it's the sex industry.
You're right. It is the sex industry. They have new robot
We're not
brothels.
pervs. We're intellects.
Yeah, so now I'm going to give you a gift from our bag of fun here.
That's so kind.
No
Speaking
way.
of sex
Joy?
industry work,
I am tempted to say that we will debut it at our show at Roofers.
Yeah, you should. All right. So
Assuming that it's appropriate.
we didn't wrap anything, so somebody has to close their eyes and
Okay.
put their hand in our sack
Justin?
of joy.
I like doing this stuff.
Okay, good. Just put your hand in my sack. Just rummage around and pick something that you like. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that right there,
and
Justin.
Avi, you need to come up with a category.
I like the first
Oh,
one.
for the next people.
There we go. What did you get?
Oh wow.
I got fancy foil decorative aluminum wrap.
There you go.
Wow, amazing.
Exactly what you needed.
Archie McPhee.
You could wrap your keyboard in it for the show.
Oh, it's adorable.
All right, Avi, what's our category for next week? You can't spend as much time on this as you did
18th
every
century Spanish history.
18th century Spanish history.
I hate it. I hate it.
I was gonna say French, but that was like, if they know about U.S. history, maybe they'll try to extrapolate something.
You don't want them to like win. So
Oh wow, I feel so bad now for whoever's next. Sorry, next people. I'm gonna listen in and watch you crash and burn.
all right, we don't have a lot of time left, so we're gonna run right into this. You had a longer story and a shorter story. We're probably gonna have to shoot with the shorter story. I feel like
Sure.
because we'll end up cutting you off otherwise. So
I understand.
your story was a near story about your new members, how you got new members.
Yeah.
So tell us about this.
So I'm gonna try to fit in both. I'm sorry, but I'm gonna shorten one.
Give
of them.
it a shot. You've got
So
50 seconds.
every Monday at Epicure, you can find a jam, and
Yep.
our new guitar player is one of the hosts. He was jamming with our new drummer, and I texted Justin. I said, "How about these guys?" And he said, "I love it." Quote, "I love it." Mike Stern from Blood, Sweat, and Tears called us cats after playing in New York City, and it was awesome.
Those are both your stories.
Those are both the stories.
You did cut it awfully short. My goodness, I was expecting us to like get to all the way to the end of the music and having to be like, "Oh, we're out of time." And then you had like 20 seconds.
Mike
to spare.
Stern. Mike Stern.
Who is Mike Stern for those people who don't know?
He's a jazz guitar player who played with Blood, Sweat, and Tears and has made a name for himself as an amazing
Also
player.
play with Jocko.
Oh,
a
yeah, yeah.
lot.
Herbie.
Oh, I'm sorry, we've run out of time. Thank you so much for joining us, guys. Did you have a good time?
Absolutely.
Excellent.
Thank
Oh, you
having
played
us.
with Miles?
Everybody who's listening, please like our posts, follow us, retweet us, and share the show on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. We cannot do this without you. Also, don't forget to review the show on Facebook, iTunes, and Google Play. If you're an artist, musician, or culture creator in the DC area, we want you to be on our show. Email us at booking@anotherwastedhour.com. Don't forget to go check out Albino Rhino Friday, March 1st at Roofers Union in Adams Morgan, Washington, D.C. Check out their EP Out of the Box with their single Milestones. You can go up to facebook.com/albinorhino.us for more. Thanks to my co-hosts, Engineer Adam, Kevin Yebinger, McNally22, Justin Rogers, Figmental Records, Figmental Studios, and Alchemical Records for all their contributions. Most of all, thanks to Albino Rhino for wasting a perfectly good hour with us. This has been another wasted hour, and if you just realized that, don't blame us. We warned you.
Yeah, groovy.